Hello, survivors, and welcome back to the Beating the Arc series. A lot has happened since the last recording, one of the biggest things being that content may have a slight shift in format. I am thinking of switching to a more storyline type game format, so I won't be doing much in the terms of voiceover in the game, but I am instead going to voice it over after the gameplay. This may be a bit jarring at first, but I'm hoping in the end it works out. If not, we can always just change back to this format again. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Please, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and let's get into the game. It has been many days since I wrote about my comings and goings here in this strange land. I know not how I got here, or why I was brought to this terror-filled island. However, I have heard rumors of a way off. They have to do with those strange artifacts I have found in the caves. So now I have a mission, a plan to get off this God's forsaken place for good. I've heard tales of a special cave, one that requires the death of three great protectors of this island. To find those protectors, I will need those artifacts. Apparently, two of the artifacts I have found are used to summon the first of the protectors, and I need but one more. So now begins my final preparation for that artifact, the artifact of the Massive. From what I have learned of the cave this artifact lies in, it is a cave of lava. This will truly be a test of my skills and my resolve. This world is forgiving to a survivor like me, but less so to my beloved partners. So I must think about who I will take with me on this journey. In the meantime, I think my family has grown enough that I should make some more troughs. As I was out gathering fish meat for the baryonyx, I wasn't paying enough attention to Wally's ever-growing struggle. In his need to push himself to the limit, he had gathered so much meat we couldn't move. This truly turned into a disastrous situation when some Sindaria attacked and shocked me off of Wally. I had yet to battle these creatures of the deep, as I had heard early on of their dangers. Fearing the worst, I rushed back to the beach to grab my crossbow and get a breath, before plunging back into the water. I frantically shot and killed one, and fired a shot at another, only to realize Wally had already killed it, and all of the others. The versatility and strength of the baryonyx still amazes me to this day, and Wally has definitely earned himself an extra portion of fish tonight. Since I had gathered enough fish to last a good while, I decided it was time to get to work on those troughs. So I figured two more would suffice, one for the herbivores, one for the pescivores, and one for the regular carnivores. I also knew Luna was pregnant, and that I would have to wait for her baby to be born. Her last litter had triplets, and she's definitely looking big again, so here's hoping. Upon checking my smithy, my forges, and all of my chests, I had actually found out I smelted all of my metal, so I was back out on Bonk for another metal run. While I had replaced Catherine the Great with another Argentavis named Elizabeth, I didn't really feel like doing a full metal run up the mountain. It was just going to take time that I felt I didn't have, so I just hoped the rocks around where I was would provide enough ore to do what I needed. The next thing on my to-do list was some medical brews. Like in the Cave of Cold on the Dead Island, I figured lava was going to make it exceptionally hot. So I took Atticus out to collect some berries, dropped the Tinto berries in the pot, made some narcotics to drop in, and started cycling the water. I did eventually make a couple extra jars with a mental note to make some more in the future. That way I can always have 4 in there. Once I had 10 medical brews made, it really was just a waiting game. I had decided Wally would be the one to go with me into the cave. He and I had done so much together so far, it just didn't seem fair to leave him behind this time. My wolf pack would be by my side against the Guardian, the one they call the Broodmother, but Wally would be the one to get me there. In preparation for this challenge, I had also made some grappling hooks, some bullets, and gathered up my cooked meat. I equipped myself with some hide armor as well as my trusty hat. I was nearly ready. Luna was just about to pop, so I cleaned up the base a bit, collected some eggs, and got all of the troughs filled up. Luna gave birth! Triplets again, all male. They would do well in the pack. I gave them all some meat, showed them where the trough was, and told Wally it was time to go. I'd have to name these 3 a little bit later. We really need to get off this island. As Wally and I bid farewell to our family, I knew, while it may hurt, this world would revive me if I die. If Wally died, however, he would never see Wanda, Cosmo, or Flash again. I always feel guilty about that, but Wally is strong, and I know he can do it. In fact, of all of them, he may be the only one that can. It really was a long trek back to the cave, which ironically was right near Herbivore Island. I walked past that cave so many times without even realizing it was there. Now that we are here, it's time to face our fears. Wally, while strong, is no match for lava, and who knows what kind of dinosaurs lurk inside. One misstep and it could be all over. It would probably take months to recover if I lose Wally here, but it's time to venture into this cave. As we entered the cave, the heat was already sweltering. I couldn't believe it was this hot. I felt as if I was boiling in the hide I wore. As I reached the first crossroad, I saw the source of the heat. A lava flow fell like a molten waterfall. Glancing between it and my only other path, I steeled my resolve and proceeded forward. I heard a distinct screech ahead of me. I knew it had to be an Onyx. Quickly, I checked each of my weapons to make sure that they were loaded. I pulled out my spyglass to check how strong this bat was and to see if it had friends. I stepped forward, and bam! A Megalania leapt on me from the ceiling. After Wally made quick work of the giant lizard, I checked the creatures ahead. Seeing they were just normal creatures, I pulled my gun, took a shot, and drew them to me. This way Wally could take them on more one at a time. I wanted to help Wally not get overwhelmed with the number of creatures he faced at once, but around the corner, I saw a mob. There were spiders, scorpions, and bats. This would be a tough fight. As Wally bobbed and weaved through, I saw more and more coming towards me. We were starting to feel the effects. Wally was getting tired, but he was pulling through. He was amazing. I tried to help out using my shotgun. I really wasn't doing much. Wally did way better than me, but I did what I could. His strength, it truly impresses me more every day. I had to drop a lot of his weight. Wally was harvesting meat for me. He was doing everything. Without him, there is no way I would have gotten through this cave. As we advanced through the horde, I could feel Wally growing more confident, growing stronger. Then we found some Dilophosaurs. At first, I thought, honestly, they had wandered into the cave. They weren't supposed to be there, but later on we find more. I could feel myself boiling alive inside of my armor. I wasn't sure what to do. I could feel my vitality literally leaving my body through my sweat. In an act of desperation, I removed my clothing, hoping that being just in my underwear would help with the heat. It didn't, so I drank a medical brew to help restore some of my vitality and pushed on. As Wally continued to make mincemeat of these enemies, we glanced over the cliff and saw a pool of lava. It definitely made us nervous, so we continued on. As we got into the next chamber, we saw a bridge that was broken. We glanced down, and we couldn't tell if there was something to land on down there or just lava. Wally and I glanced at each other, we backed up, and we leapt. Wally continued to clean up some Dilophosaur, and I glanced across another jump. There were Onyx over there, and I knew they may knock us back a little bit, and we might fall off the cliff into the lava. So to play it safe, I pulled out my gun, took a shot, and drew them towards us. And of course, Wally did what he does best. Up ahead, I saw a ruin, and I know around those ruins usually I can find some notes from fellow explorers. So, off I went towards it. It was guarded by some Onyx and a Scorpion, but Wally once again made quick work of them.
I admit there are times when it is useful to live among simpletons. For example, I was able to trade several gallons of my Lazarus chowder to a group of hunters in exchange for an entire contingent of tamed Gigantopithecus. And they never questioned whether it had been tested on humans yet. I know that Lazarus chowder doesn't cause asphyxiation, won't I? It's not exactly a conclusive scientific trial, but I suppose it will serve. Unfortunately, all these primitive primates have given Rockwell Manor quite the pungent odor. Isabel said she is working on some sort of air freshener, but I hope she makes haste.
The more I learn about some of my fellow explorers on this island, I really wonder if I want to meet them. That Rockwell fellow, he definitely does not seem like the best human. I do worry if I ever run into him, what will happen. Helena, on the other hand, I'd like to meet her. She seems like someone who'd be fun. I'd like to have a beer with her, if I can figure out how to make it. As I felt my vitality continuing to sap from me, I knew that this would not be sustainable. This is definitely the biggest cave that I've been in so far, and I haven't even come close to finding the artifact yet. I worry that if I continue, I'll die and Wally will be lost. So I head back to the surface. I need to find that artifact, but honestly, if I had continued, I don't think I would have survived. So I need to make some extra preparations and try again. That is going to wrap up today's episode. Due to this cave being a lot bigger than I thought, it's definitely going to be a two-parter. If you like this format, please let me know in the comments and like and subscribe. Stick around for part 2, and thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.